Welcome back to Mortgage Daddies. Today we have our special guest, one of our newest additions, Michelle Chretien from New Hampshire.
How are you?
Thank you for coming down.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming down, Michelle.
Thanks for having me. I'm
This
so
is a long
excited.
time in the works.
Well, a little slow. The upkeep.
I'm Vernon. I run the top mortgage brokerage in Massachusetts with over 20 years of experience.
I'm Craig. I've done $100 million consistently since my second full year in the business, and I'm Massachusetts' top mortgage broker. We're the Mortgage Daddies, with real advice, real stories, and real results.
Let's get going.
We were going back and forth with Michelle for like a while. Not really going back and forth in the sense of come join Milestone, but we've been on the phone with each other, helping each other out, coaching each other, growing with each other.
For years.
Yeah. When I opened up my shop, I was broker owner. When I opened up in January of 2020, because Vern and I used to work together at other places. And he was like my biggest advocate. Like I'd call him and be like, Vern, I don't know what I'm doing. How do I do this? Or how do I do that? Or things like that. And it was, it's great. It's like a little brother. Taller, but,
At least I got taller out of that one. She's the best person we've ever had in an episode.
Right.
Usually everybody just wants to roast me, so I appreciate it.
So you had your own shop for a while. What made you make the move over to Milestone?
So, being a broker, the difference from coming from retail into a broker shop and when you open your own, I think the biggest part is you had some tools that you now then want to create. And if you spend all that time creating the tools and trying to do what you need to do, your origination suffers. There's not enough time in the day to do both. And there was a lot that I didn't want to do. I don't want to do call reports. I don't want to deal with banking audits. I don't want to do any of that anymore. I just want to write business and help people grow.
Just literally came up on our last podcast with the exact same thing of why people are coming over, because if you're a top producer or you're a good producer and you go start your own company, there's so much more that goes into it than people think. And you need somebody to help you, which luckily you had, because how else would you even figure out what you need to do? Never mind then having to go do it all.
And then, you start doing with the compliance things and, the tech. Like, I'm a little older than most in the industry. Been around since the early 90s in the industry. So to change up and to build the tech wouldn't work for me. Like, I'm a plug and play over here. It's huge. It's great. And I'm not too old to learn.
Yeah, and we're excited for that. I mean, what are you most excited about with having a fresh start at Milestone?
I love that everything's all set for you. The onboarding, first of all, because I'm just gone through that. My son came through earlier than I did. And it's amazing. You've thought of everything. And there's the videos and there's everything else already in there. So I can just go, okay, I'm not quite sure how to do this. And I can we watched Craig I think 10 times on one video. So it was great. But then it's not like I don't have to call and bug somebody. It's right there, So if it's at 10:30 at night and I'm sitting there saying, all right, I'm stuck, I can go and look at that, which is huge. It's already preset.
A lot of those stuff comes from trial and error, because as you start to bring people on, it's easy, one or two people, okay, hey, this is what we're doing. But then you bring more people and now you got to go back again and go try to restart the whole process with somebody. And then you miss things. And you have that person, and being that newer person sitting there on a Tuesday at 8:00 at night trying to figure something out. It's very frustrating if you can't get through what you're trying to get through.
And for me too, right? Being in New Hampshire, I'm 20 minutes out of Massachusetts. For me as a broker to get licensed in New Hampshire, it's expensive. Now I don't have to. Now I have Massachusetts. Let's go. Game on.
Yeah.
So Maine too, right? I'm right in that little sweet spot with both.
Yeah.
So I think that excites me too, is the more states.
I'm excited for you. I'm sure we'll talk about this more, is everybody in the industry. I mean, when you have 20 plus years like you do in the industry and you're super involved in a lot of different groups, and we'll get into that as well. But I'm super excited to see you be able to grow your team and your reputation and Milestone at the same time, because everybody knows, likes, and trusts you, right? Like that's the reason I was so open to helping you, right? Like you're a good person. You want to do the right thing. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, and you haven't seen this yet because you've been onboarded for all of about 5 days at this point, is your phone's going to start ringing. And people are going to say, hey, why'd you choose Milestone? Why'd you close out? Because I feel like in this industry, everybody wants to be the broker owner. until you're the broker owner. And then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I didn't sign up for this. I still wanted to make the same money I did as a loan officer, but I wanted to be the broker owner until you are, right? And that's the piece that, talking to you and Russell and some other people we brought on, it's the same thing I'm hearing over and over and over again.
You can't make more time, right? So by joining Milestone, all the systems are in place. The tech is, over the top. I got some insight in the beginning, but now that I see it and it's physically there, I'm like, you didn't sell that good because it's much better than what you sold.
By the way, it's evolving like every 15 days. It's like a whole new platform for us.
So, I want to be able to okay, it's, Thursday night at 4:00. I sneak out and have dinner with my granddaughters. If I'm on my own shop, I can't do that because there's no one. We can't do a family vacation because we're both working in the business. Now I have a team that will help me here. I'll be like, hey guys, check it out. We're going on vacation. Can you help me out a little bit? So that's the one piece that you don't have and you can't have, being yourself.
And I think the other piece, going back is you're going to be able to grow exponentially because you have all the tools in place with the technology, the onboarding. You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to create those. You don't have to do the training. It's already built in there. You're probably going to make more money on that individual LO that you recruit from California because now you can recruit somebody in California because you're part of a bigger family at Milestone where we at like 34, 35 licenses where you don't have to be licensed anymore as a company in every single state. Milestone's already taking care of that.
Well, and the part that most broker owners don't think about, they're like, oh, great, I can have all these different lenders. This is awesome. But the portion and the part to get licensed on, to get signed up with all those, how many hours in a year are you spending on just signing up a new lender, right? That maybe you're only going to use for one deal.
Yeah.
But then you've got to go through all of the junk that they deserve and, because they're going to trust in you. I don't have to do any of that anymore. That's on your plate. Thank you.
I feel like your credit report's going to have about 15 less inquiries. I just look at mine every time when a renewal comes around, I'm like, can we just use a soft pull for me? Because every investor wants to pull every warehouse line. And that's the other piece is we're bringing you into warehouse lending,
which I didn't
correspondent, which you didn't have. It's already in place. Now that's a whole nother avenue that
So
I'm excited to see that take off for you.
Craig's like, yeah, she's crazy.
That's why we get along well. Craig's got a lot of crazy in him. He's good. He can handle it.
No, I totally get it, honestly. I think a lot of people, I think you're going to see more and more people coming over that had shops because it's super time consuming. And you're doing non-money making activities a lot of the time. And if you don't have a lot of production that you brought on from other people, what's the point?
Yeah. And I think the hesitation for me doing it was all ego.
It's always ego.
I have my company, I have my name, I built this. And, my daughter sat me down and she said, they use you. They don't care where you work.
Mm-hmm. They don't care what the business card says.
Doesn't matter.
They want to work with
and
Michelle.
Michelle, yeah. So that's the part that I think was my slowest on my roll to come over.
I think one of the when I'm on the phone with a broker owner who's thinking about joining, and I don't know if I had to do this with you because I'm not really that pushy with you. I let you control the conversation more times than not.
Smart.
But most broker owners out there, just ask yourself this one question. What is your exit strategy? Almost everything I get myself into, I already am looking at how do I get out of this, right? Craig has taught me a key word, and he teases me about this all the time, and it's no. Right? I always had a hard time, and I still do, of saying the word no to people. Like, Vern, can you be at this event? Can you do this? Can you help me with this? And I'm like, yeah. Next thing I know, I'm drowning in my office. But then I think a lot of broker owners have that same FOMO, right? I have to be there. I have to send some people. But why are you doing what you're doing? Why? Take the ego out of it. Mm-hmm. Are you making more money? Do you have less stress? Do you have a better home life? Is your personal life with your kids, your wife, your spouse, is it better? The answer is no, right? 99% of the time, unless you're a superhuman, it just doesn't exist. And I always broke it down to what's my exit strategy out of this broker channel? Or just mortgages in general, right? And I don't mean stop originating or start being part of the company, but what are you trying to achieve by doing what you're doing, right? We know a lot of broker owners, we're not going to say any names, the ego is way bigger than the bankroll. Like I look at them like, wow, they're spending a lot of money. I don't know where they're getting it from. Like you can see people's volume right online. There's only so much money. Russell was just on, a previous episode. There's not a lot of money at the end of the day in this industry with, the cost of everything rising.
Just the cost of like credit and compliance. But
what are you going to do? Leave it to your kid? Like the broker owners out there, like, what do you plan on doing with this in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Like, what do you plan on doing with it?
And so even for me, it was different, right? Because my son works with me. So that's the best part.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he can take it. He can take it. And then I realized I failed him until we decided to come here because I had him in a role that I thought was good for him. It was good for him, but he's a much better loan officer than he ever was support. So now he's a loan officer here. And I think that's going to be more fun to watch him grow.
Absolutely.
And it's going to give him financial freedom.
Do it together.
Yeah. And, we have my, what was the new word we learned? Not database, portfolio. Because the more your people are your portfolio, the more you pour into them. I have my entire database back to 2006. So just think about that. When the market flips a little bit, which will at some point, it's going to be crazy. I can't wait.
And now you have all the tools and the technology to make sure you're reaching out to them, educating them until the market flips.
And in 2020, 2021, I didn't have systems in place to capitalize on half the business I could have. Now I do.
That's
when
exciting.
there's a change of rates, that really makes a difference.
Even just the cash out refis that I'm seeing come through my desk. I had 2 or 3 applications yesterday, just cash out rates. And I'm like, what?
Even like when you have your own business, like even if you were able to capitalize on all of them, how would you have been able to handle all of it too? Because like the scale side of it's very difficult when you're trying to run a smaller business. Okay, well, how many ops do we need? Okay, well, we're good here. Well, what if the market flips? No, I need more ops. Well, you need to now slow down to hire and train somebody, and it's going to affect it. And you're not going to be able to handle it when you're at somewhere that you can. It doesn't matter if you have one loan or if you have 150 loans, you can get it done. Mm-hmm. It's like working with why so many people like working with UWM. It doesn't slow down if it's busy in the market or not. They keep the same standard and having the support that we have with the options to have extra support. It doesn't matter if we do 150 loans a month or we do 250 loans a month, where it's not going to slow down.
Yeah.
That's one thing that like I would never want to work somewhere that you can't. I remember when refinances were crazy and they'd be talking to people I know in the business. They're like, oh yeah, can't close a loan for 45 days because they don't have, they can't fund the loan. They can't fund these refis, or, it's taken 2 months for it to go through. I used to get calls from, we're going through this refinance for 3 months with this company. Like, I'm just getting, tossed around here and I don't know what's going on. Can you close this? Yeah, no problem. Close it in a week.
Because all the tools are here and the staff. I mean, I remember the days when our appraisals, we used to have to wait till the film got developed. I mean, that's like...
Pre-fax machine, this one.
No, the fax machine was coiled up.
I love it. Tell us about your involvement with AIM. I mean, we've been to a bunch of AIM events.
Yeah.
Your involvement is pretty significant there.
So I think when I became a broker, the part that was interesting is that you feel like you're on an island. And AIM did, especially during COVID, every week did a video, an online call to get into. And it just kind of set your mindset and things like that. So I think it's important because AIM really, for me, I had instant friends that I could call and say, hey, how you doing this? How you doing that? Quite a few. And then I really found my niche in the Women's Mortgage Network because there's some badass bitches in there.
Oh, yeah, there are.
I think that's what's cool about the broker side. Like everybody kind of, for the most part, is a big community. But like you guys have been more involved in it than I ever have been. But it's cool to see like companies from different areas talking to each other to help each other to build, to say, hey, I tried this didn't work. Try this instead. Like, where else do you really get that? I don't think on the retail side or like at a bank, no one's talking to each other. No one's, hey, this is just how we do it.
If we're at one retail place and another one called us,
forget it.
You're not talking.
If you end up bouncing into, if you're out to dinner and you ran into somebody from another retail company, your phone started blowing up from your boss. Like, who are you talking to? Why? I'm like, oh my. Now everyone's a big family. So it's fun in that aspect, I think.
So you're a mom, a grandmother, a wife, a successful loan officer. How do you balance all that? And never mind, 2 weeks ago, you were a business owner.
Yeah.
Right? Throw that into the mix.
Yeah, that on top of it.
Mind-boggling.
A lot more time now.
Yeah. I think the biggest part was, honestly, my husband was super supportive. I think, he's a saint for being married to me as long as he has been.
How long is that?
33 years. So, and I'll come up with some crazy ideas and he'll be like, okay. Oh, and just goes with it,
33 years.
Yeah. And so I think that,
As old as Craig is.
As long as I've been alive.
ow.
No shot at you, Michelle. I know you can take it. You got some thick skin.
I mean, and I also have a daughter that's going to be 38. So, it's fun. But I think that it's been support with family for sure has gotten me where I'm at. My son and my daughter were both competitive athletes and they were young. And my son played travel hockey. So a lot of our time was spent in ice rinks. And that's where I wrote the most mortgages was while I was at practice and whatnot. Because then it wasn't online applications at that point. Matt will joke now that he got most of his mortgage experience responding to emails on the BlackBerry on the way to a hockey tournament. Because that's like he was emailing while I was driving. That's what we just did.
You didn't talk in text?
No, we didn't have that then.
Talking facts?
BlackBerry's pretty sweet back then.
You had the ball.
Ball.
So I think that, that's been the part, we would take time out for the family. I would go to all the sporting events. But then, at night, you just plug in and you work half the night.
People don't see that side of it for loan officers in the industry, even operations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just doesn't stop. Yeah. Like, people are like, oh, you take the day off. I'm like, there's no days off. Like, there's 100% chance there's not. I don't remember there being a day where I didn't answer my phone. At least one time, mortgage related.
You can't be successful if you don't.
I just don't know.
Maybe Christmas Day is the only day of the year. And even that sometimes probably not, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Christmas Day, yes, but then somebody's calling you from the office to talk to you, wishing you a Merry Christmas, and they have a problem that's closing on the 26th. Like,
and then you have to get done.
There's always something. Like,
which I think is the exciting part about the industry too.
Yeah. Or you have a family member who's there for Christmas and they're like, what are the interest rates like? I'm like, I just want one day. I don't even want to know anything right now.
We do the crazy part. Years ago, I was coached by a company, Buffini and Company, and so the idea came out about the pies for Thanksgiving. So we give out Tuesday night, we give out massive pies to anyone who closed that year.
Oh, cool.
So then you're on everyone's Thanksgiving table. And they're like, oh, where'd you get that big pie? Oh, my mortgage girl.
Mortgage meme this year.
Mortgage meme this year.
Do you make the pies?
Oh, no, Sam's Club.
No. Disappointed.
No, wait a minute. We do make the tortilla, the pork pie.
I could see you making them. I don't know why. Just like the whole family in there, just pumping out pies for like a week.
New Hampshire, just cutting the apples, going apple picking the weekend before, peeling them all out. I would not be able to do that.
You don't want to eat my cooking.
The real question is, did you bring my maple syrup today?
I forgot it.
I knew you did. Like typical loan officer right here.
I'm going to ship it.
Promises me maple syrup. This is going on like 3 years, for the record. She's like, I'm going to bring the maple syrup.
What's the story with this maple syrup?
Oh, we make it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You can't make a pie?
Well, no. Paul cooks all the maple syrup down, the sap down to make maple syrup.
Do you have it like on your property?
In our yard.
That's awesome.
And I drink whiskey, make old fashions with it. Sorry. Like
even better.
Maple syrup. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It gives us something to do in the winter. We don't ski.
Gives us something to do. We just drink old fashions.
Yeah. Yeah. Make maple syrup. Yeah. Pepe's got to, so the granddaughters even get in on it. It's so funny.
How many granddaughters?
Two. Yeah.
How's it working with your son?
I love it.
Yeah.
Wasn't so great working with my daughter.
No.
Love her. She worked with me through college and whatnot. But then 10 years ago, she opened an escape room and she's across the street. It's perfect.
Yeah, I don't think my wife and my daughter would ever work well together.
Mm-mm. My son
they can barely do homework together. It's a lot of screaming.
I just don't think my wife's working with either one of my kids, to be honest with you. Based on the morning routine, I don't think that's happening.
It has to be the right personality for like both to make that work.
Oh, I just let Matt be in charge. He's better at it than I am.
She lets Matt think he's in charge. Matt, if you're watching this, you are not in charge.
No.
Know your mom for a minute. He doesn't think he's in charge either.
No, he knows
That's
better.
just in your head.
Well, how about he calls me this morning? And I said, hi. And he said, hi. He said, just a heads up. Have you left the house yet? You have a ride. I was like, I'm on my way out the door. He's like, okay, just make sure you get there on time.
He didn't want to come?
No, he's home writing loans.
Ain't good.
He's busy making money.
He could have been emailing on the BlackBerry on the way down.
Poor Matt.
So what's the message that you want to share with women in this industry? Or like, why do you want to help women in this industry so much?
Because I really think that sometimes we get a little bit of a bad rap. If you're an assertive woman, you're called a bitch. You could deliver the same message as me, and I think sometimes it's different. And I also think as women, we try to coddle and take care of our customers more than needs to be. We have to inform them and let them make their decisions. And so I think that it's like to find your right tribe to be with that's going to help you grow and elevate. And guess what? It doesn't matter if you make more than your significant other. Doesn't matter who's where in the relationship because it's together. And so just to be able to grow, find your spot where you need to be.
I think
it's okay to be
tough,
successful.
too, for women, especially like as you start to have families and everything. This is a very demanding job where you're out a lot. There's events, there's traveling, or especially as you get busier, you want to be more involved, and to be away is tough, especially when you have kids. Like my wife doesn't work anymore; she stays home. So she gives me that support that I need.
You have 4 children?
4.
So she has 5?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe 6. He counts as 2.
I'm a big child. But it's great. But the other way around, like you don't see it as much, but there are we know multiple people that, they're the breadwinner, and you have to have somebody, there has to be a give or take. It's a very tough job to be successful, to not be more than just a regular job. Like it's not a 9 to 5.
And it's the right person in your life, because I'll be like, oh, I'm meeting with a first-time home buyer. I'm meeting with a client, and he'll say, is it a first-time home buyer or not?
No, how
then
long it's going to take.
He gauges how, that's a little bit longer because it's the first time, or more questions.
See you in 2 hours.
Yeah, like he just knows that.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I think that's the bigger part, right? You have to find someone who's going to, and your other part may not be your significant other at home. It might be your partner in the office, right? Who's your support staff who's going to take over and help you when you're down? And who's your manager who's going to help you pick up the pieces when you're just, all right, I'm done. I'm at wit's end. I can't figure out this deal. How do I make that work? It's finding your tribe.
I never thought of it that way. It's good.
That's why you got me.
That's why I got Craig. I just walk into his office. I'm like, I hate everybody. He's like, no, take 3 breaths, walk back to your office. You're fine. Get out now. Being a little girl.
The days when you have to have like 8 bank statements and draw a map on where the monies are coming from and going to?
No, I don't. So get that out of your head. You're at Milestone now.
I get it.
But sometimes you just
have Matt do that.
Yes, that's Matt's job.
I can imagine you with the highlighter going like this. It's all bad.
It's very bad.
How do you support or mentor other women in the industry?
I think being the sounding board, because you know what? It's okay to have a meltdown, but then you pull up your panties and go back to work. You only have 3 minutes to cry, then go back to it.
You have a really direct outlook on the mortgage industry, women in the industry. It's very similar to the men in the industry. There's so many times where we'll just talk to a male loan officer and we're like, just put on your big boy pants. Just go tell the client that you can't do something or you need these documents to move on and get this thing done.
I think that has changed since Matt's been with me. Matt's been with me for 5 years. He came from a machining background, so very specific and to the point. He worked for a gun manufacturer. And so he's always like, you fluff it too much. I said, what do you mean? He's like, you underestimate the time it's going to take. You overpromise. He's like, stop. And so he actually, being someone younger coming into the industry, made me change my ways.
I have Craig for that.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, we could get that done. Yeah, ship it. He's like, I need 72 pages of doc. It's fine.
But you need that balance, right? So I think that helps.
I think it just makes us better, right? Like it elevates the expectation.
And sometimes you share your struggles with somebody and you realize what you're struggling about is nothing. It's, the good old werewolf in your closet when you're a little kid. It's not there.
It's in your head. Just got to get through it.
Because I think that's a big part of it too.
I think it's a confidence level for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then also like understanding the people you're dealing with. Like when you're setting the expectations, it depends more on the person than it does on anything. How quick can they get you things? How competent are they at what you're asking for? And knowing the situation and reading that can really help to make those decisions that you say or those expectations that you set.
And
a lot more accurate.
especially if it's a new partner you're trying to impress, a new business partner. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't let anything go wrong. And then the borrower, buys a new car. And you're going to figure that out.
Things are going to happen.
Yeah. It's human.
You're up front with the business partner. You tell them, hey, listen, this guy bought a new car. And they're like, seen that me before.
I've had realtors call me to say, we're doing the final walkthrough. There's a new car. Thank God it was a company car. I was like, oh no.
Oh my God.
So what do you see the future for women in the mortgage industry?
I think we're going to see more come in because it really was a guy's world for a long time. And I think that women are more confident, and because of the information out there, more women are getting involved in finances. You think back 30 years ago, women didn't even do the checkbooks at home in most cases. Like my husband ran all the bills, did all that stuff. And then I was like, oh, no, I need it now. And then I, screwed it up and then we figured out how to make it better for sure. So I think there's that part. I think we're going to have some more come into the industry and more to realize that there's freedom with it too.
I think you see, I would say it's probably a more male-dominated profession on the LO side. Operations is much more female.
Absolutely.
But in my opinion, there's so many good operations people that would be such good loan officers, but they're afraid to take that leap. And whether that's because of how it's compensated, where, your operations is more of a guaranteed salary and they're worried about, having to struggle to go get the business. But a lot of these processors or LOAs, like
they're much better than the
they
loan
know
officers.
more than the
They're
LOs. It's just there's two sides to the business where you have to know what you're doing, which typically the processors and the LOAs know a lot more than
I started in ops.
I think a lot of the best LOs did have some sort of an ops background or are more involved in it than others.
I started off as a loan officer assistant, and I learned everything not to do. I was like, ooh, no.
That's not
we're
easy.
not going to
You
do
see
that.
the mistakes that you can then prepare for ahead of time so you don't have those mistakes.
And that's the best training ever, is all the mistakes, fueled by fire.
Mm-hmm.
Get thrown in there and you're like, ooh, no, I won't do that again.
I think the average age of loan officers statistically is somewhere in the mid to late 50s. Let's say it's primarily dominated by men. I really see that shifting. And I can see more 22 to 35-year-old females getting into the business now than I ever have. And I think that's amazing because they're way better communicators. They're going to understand. They're a little bit more detailed. So I think it's going to step
Sometimes
up
they're
both
more
sides.
compassionate.
Yeah, and I think it's going to make men in the business do their job better because there's a lot of high-powered women out there that are closing $50, $100+ million a year, and they're writing the story and the how-to manual on how to achieve that, make all the hockey games, go to the kids' sporting events, do all that. There just hadn't 30 years ago, when you started in this business, there wasn't a playbook for the stay-at-home mom or, the young lady who just graduated from college to go into the mortgage business or advertising or marketing. It's like,
I wonder what the statistic is. How many people came out of college or just started their work career and said, I'm going to join mortgages. Everyone fell into it. Nobody sought out to go. I got an offer to be a clerical assistant, and that's how I got in. It's not like, oh, I dreamed to be a loan officer.
Yeah. I don't think many people do.
Right? So that's the part that I think that narrative's changing and more people are like, hey, this is really a good career.
I think even teaching kids at a young age financial literacy, I'm big at my house on financial literacy and just making sure my kids understand what a dollar is, what it means, what you have to do to get to it. I think that's going to hopefully, in my opinion, I'd like to see, the industry a little bit younger, right? Because listen, we're dinosaurs at this point in our careers. We're not the best. We can say we're the best. We had a great run, but the technology piece, we have the experience at this point. And if we can get that experience out of our heads and communicate that to the next generation, especially at Milestone. I mean, I'm not going out telling all my war stories and secrets to every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the business. I'll tell them as much as I feel is needed, but to keep some of those secrets in the head. I think the industry as a whole it's going to get very diverse all the way across.
And I think with the technology, it's quicker. Right?
Frees up time.
I mean, it would be normal 60 days. We're going to close a loan, right? Now, if you told someone 60 days, they're like, what's wrong?
Well, yeah, what's the matter?
What's wrong with the house? Does it need to be built? You know?
Somebody tells you it's going to take 30 days to close a loan. I'm like, what are you guys doing for the other 15? Like,
Yeah.
I need 15 days. Craig's looking at me right now. Hope everybody saw his face. And that look was like, Fern, stop telling everybody it's 15 days. It's 15 days if you're really grinding on it. It's a nice.
Well, no. It depends on the location of the property because of appraisal.
Yeah.
And the borrower.
Well, that's the truth. It's the borrower.
Yeah. If you're a consumer and you're watching this, I hope you are. Just get your docs in when your processor or your loan officer asks for it. It will make the process 10 times easier for you.
Absolutely. It's so much easier. And that's how we get to where we are.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
That's it.
Well, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks
So
for coming
excited.
down. I'm excited to see
I can't wait.
what you can do with all this free time now.
Just watch.
Welcome to the team, baby.
Michelle's going to start
Sky's the
playing
limit.
golf or something with all her free
Oh,
time.
no. I played golf on Saturday. I hit a divot. My youngest granddaughter goes, that wasn't so good.
Kids are very brutally honest. We played wiffle ball this weekend with my son's all-star team, and my wife gets up. We did like parents versus children, and a few of the players like came way in, and we're like, "Buddy, back up! Like you're like 10 feet away." Kid's response: "She sucks." And then she roped one right over her head. It was hilarious.
Probably the biggest smile.
Oh my
on
God, I was
his face
gassed.
ever.
I was jumping. There's a picture. I was jumping up and down.
It's like, that's my wife.
Oh man, it was funny.
I
Now
love
she
it.
thinks that's where Austin got our baseball swing from. It's a whole thing.
You had no contact on that at all. It was all
tough,
her.
but, well, thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you guys next time.
Thank you.